Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Intelligent Moron with Alex Silva. Today is Thursday, May 5th. Happy Cinco de Mayo, everybody, if you celebrate it. If it's just May 5th to you, happy May 5th. But, you know, if you're feeling festive, if you want to celebrate, I guess, Mexican culture, happy Cinco de Mayo. If you like drinking beer, and you like drinking parties, maybe going to the bar, maybe there'll be a deal or something, maybe there's a special occasion at any bar because of Cinco de Mayo, and you're a big fan of that, happy Cinco de Mayo. I hope everybody has a nice, safe holiday. If you have it off, enjoy it. If you don't, well, do well at your job. In honor of Cinco de Mayo, have fun. I never really celebrated it all that much when I was younger, or even when I was like in school or whatever. Like we would just have like maybe a little bit like a Mexican themed party. Like somebody would bring tacos, someone would bring enchiladas, maybe burritos, nachos, and just have a fun time, a nice, I don't know, what do you call it? A fiesta at school. And, you know, I never really understood, or really, I guess maybe my schools kind of failed me, because I always got the impression of Cinco de Mayo as Mexican Independence Day. But I brought up an article. It's called the History of Cinco de Mayo by History.com, which if the website is called History.com and it's incorrect, I mean, I feel like that's, you know, me saying what's in this article is okay because it's allowed to be published on History.com. By the way, it's the History Channel's website, History.com. So if they're wrong, if I'm wrong, blame History.com. So in this article it says Cinco de Mayo, or the 5th of May, is a holiday that celebrates the date of the Mexican Army's May 5th, 1862 victory over France at the Battle of Puebla during the Franco-Mexican War. The day, which falls on Thursday, May 5th in 2022, is also known as Battle of Puebla Day. While it is a relatively minor holiday in Mexico, in the United States, Cinco de Mayo has evolved into a commemoration of Mexican culture and heritage, particularly in the areas with large Mexican-American populations. Well, there you go. There you have it. If it weren't for the Mexican army to defeat the French, we would have probably been saying bonjour instead of hola, or, Francois instead of buenos dias, stuff like that. I don't know. Maybe because I always thought it was from Mexican independence from Americans or something like that, but I guess if it's the French, I guess I was completely wrong there. Thanks a lot, elementary school system. Or, that also could have just been my fault not paying attention, because, I am of Mexican descent, so, I mean, what do I care, right? I mean, people aren't going to be like, oh, it's your holiday, happy holidays, amigo. That probably doesn't happen. But, if you are going to celebrate, I encourage you to, get with your hombres and have a good time, your hombras, and have a nice fiesta, in the backyard. Maybe get the grill going, get some beers. What's on the menu for tonight? Some Dos Equis, some Coronas, a little bit of Modelo, tequila, Pacifico, whatever, Don Julio, Have a night to remember. That's all I can ask you for you to do, because it's if you got it off, have fun. I mean, I'm gonna eat some I don't know, maybe a taco or two. Maybe go take a trip down to the nice old Taco Bell and get some authentic Mexican food. I always like those taco supremes at Chalupa, and I'll be like, hey, happy Cinco de Mayo, Taco Bell. Thank you for being a beacon of a Mexican cuisine across the country, and thank you for doing everything that you do, because you have some of the best fast food in the country. Taco Bell does. Maybe I'll get like a taco party box and just have it by myself and be like, I love Mexican heritage so much that I bought a taco box. Name anybody else who would go to such feats in honor of Mexican independence from the French. I doubt you could, honestly. I really do. But, you know, whatever you do, just have fun. Be responsible, I guess, if you got to go to work the next day. Be responsible. Don't get anybody in trouble. Don't get anybody hurt. Don't get anybody too wasted out there. No, we don't want that. We just want it to be responsible people. And I get it that anybody can celebrate it, but to those who do go insane and go crazy, just be safe out there. I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer, ruin anybody's fun, but when things happen on holidays, people get crazy and they just want to have fun, and I get that, but you never want to hear drunk driving on Cinco de Mayo. It's like, oh god, that's never a good sign. And even any holiday, you see people get their fingers blown off on 4th of July from fireworks or stuff like that. Houses burning down and stuff. It's like, oh, that can't be good. I never really noticed how much of Mexico was in America before the Americans took it from them. I mean, not really from them, but like kind of like saying, slow down there. You got too much land there. They like had basically all of California was Mexico at one point. That's why we have like so many cities like Los Angeles, San Francisco, Sacramento, Fresno, Bakersfield, McFarland, all named after Mexican names. Tons of cities that were just named from Mexican people, and now they're American. I mean, you also have like a state called New Mexico, which is that like that must have like a huge Mexican American population, right? Like, I mean, why would we name it New Mexico? Like, I guess like it's like a new land of Mexico, like it's for like a newer version of Mexico, I guess. I don't know. It's like why do we call New York, like, right? Like, because York is a city back in England, and I guess it's just New York, or the whole region in Boston or Massachusetts called New England. Like, why were we so lazy in naming territories and naming cities or places or states? Like, oh, well, this is essentially the people who founded this place were from York or Mexico or England. We'll name it New this, Like, there's an actual Hampshire in England. We have a state called New Hampshire. I kind of have forgotten that New Hampshire was an actual state. There's a lot of states that I forget that are actually states. Like Delaware is a state. Vermont is a state. Rhode Island, that's a state too. The Dakotas. Nebraska is a state. Somebody was talking to me a couple days ago that they were from Nebraska and they moved to California. I'm like, what? What do you mean? You were from Nebraska? It's like, what do you got there? Corn? Yeah, it's like, yeah, we have a lot of corn there. I mean, I live in California. We have a lot of corn too. We also have a lot of peaches and apples and other fruits and vegetables, nuts, all you can imagine. Like, if you think about it, California, man, has so much food. Like, agriculture-wise, like food and fruits and grains and nuts. We have so much stuff that we grow in California. So much. And they want to call, like, Florida the peach state. I guarantee you that the peaches in California probably a lot better tasting than the ones in Florida. Guarantee you. I mean, how do you even grow that much peaches there? Or is it Florida or is it Georgia? I can't remember which one. I think it might be Georgia that's the peach state. But it's like, how? Because it's so humid. Like, you kind of need like a little bit of dry weather for the fruit to grow properly, right? I mean, I just, I've seen some videos and I've seen some things of like why California is like so good at growing fruit and all that. It's also because of the dry summers and the wet winters. And like, when it's dry, I guess the fruit grows better or something. I don't know. I'm no scientist. I'm no climatologist. I'm no fruit expert. All I do is consume the stuff that they give me. But it actually blows my mind of how much stuff that we grow here. You think about it, like the entire Central Valley is so flat. It also it kind of like doesn't really resemble much of California, like what people from outside of California think of. Like people from outside of California, they probably associate California with L.A., San Francisco, San Diego, maybe, and that's about it. Right? They completely forget about the Central Valley area, like Fresno, like these other cities, like Bakersfield, even though that's not much of a tourist attraction or a well-known city. Well, neither is Fresno either, but like these other cities, these other communities of where like there's a ton of people at. There's a ton of people in the Central Valley of California, ton of people, and it's a completely different climate, completely different like area, culture, and all that. It's completely different. It's just like people just don't really like associate us as like real Californians, or like they forget that we exist. Same with like really like far up North California too. Like you go past San Francisco, it's like a mountain country. It's like hilly, very green, very a lot of wildlife there. When you get to like the North California Oregon border, it's like a lot greener. Yeah, it's a lot colder. And it's just different types of people there. And I remember I remember the time I went to a road trip to Oregon, and just like seeing like the vastness and the green of that entire state of Oregon. Like it's just completely green, like pine trees all over, very, well watered, I would say. Because you go to California, it's like a bunch of droughts and all that. Everything's dried up because it's essentially like a desert. And then like Oregon is just so like, watered and like, hydrated and just, green. It's like, wow, this is just completely different than what I'm used to. And then you go to Washington, it's like a little bit of both. You get like a lot of green too, but in some areas are like more deserty. Like eastern Washington is a little bit more like drier, I think. But yeah, happy Cinco de Mayo. Have fun, do something cool. Go get some Taco Bell, or get authentic tacos. I like that too. Big fan of the Bell and the local taquerias. Keep them in business. Lots of good food out there. Have a Corona, right? Have some fun. Share the love. Speaking of which, I just went to a wedding last weekend, and I gotta tell you, man, I love weddings. Love them. I love love. Big fan of love. Big fan of people falling in love, people loving things, loving their spouse. Their boyfriend becomes their husband, their girlfriend becomes their wife, vice versa, yada, yada, yada. It's a great time to be at a wedding. I'm always happy when I'm at a wedding. Like, happy, because if it's a person like I really know, and I really know them, like a buddy of mine or a friend of mine, and I know that they're going to be happy, I know that their life is changing, I see oh, this is very nice. It makes me all warm and fuzzy inside. I can't deny it. As much as, I sound pretty cold sometimes, or I kind of sound like I don't have that much, feelings towards people or each other, I truly love love. Nothing brings me more joy than that. And seeing that all on display at a really good, nice wedding, and the people there, everybody's happy. Friends, relatives, anybody who's invited, you see that they're all happy and having a good time, right? People reunite. We see new friends. I saw a couple of new friends that I haven't seen in a long time. I was like, hey, bro, what's going on? And they're like, yo, I heard you had a podcast. I'm like, yeah, I post about it every week. You heard it from me. And then I'm like, yo, have you listened? Like, no, man, I haven't listened yet. It's like, dude, what are you doing? Click that link. Check it out. I put it up every week. It's all there. It's like, yeah, man, I've been meaning to watch it. It's like, or listen to it. It's like, yeah, don't just say that. Just do it. No hard feelings. But it seems like whenever people come up to me and say that, hey, I heard you had a podcast, it's like, well, yeah, I posted about it. I follow you, bro. Every week it's up. But it's like that's like they feel like they're in an awkward position at that point, because they want to acknowledge that you have a podcast or you do something that's different. Because, but have they listened to it? Probably not. It's like you're making it awkward on your own. You don't got to do this. You just listen. It's fine. But I don't want to seem like I take that as actually offense. No, I don't. I truly don't. But it's always interesting to hear people how they say it, how they deliver that news, like that they acknowledge that I do a podcast. It's always so funny because it's always the same thing. And it's like, I heard you did this. It's like, all right, I hear that you're doing this. Or, hey, I heard you say this. It's crazy. But that's just that's the life I have to live as a podcaster. Truly is. My words being taken as either, as a joke, as most of them are, or, set in stone, in concrete, or in a tablet form, like, Noah in the Ten Commandments. But, or was that Moses who led the Egyptians through the ocean? Or was that Jesus or Abraham? I can't remember. One of those guys, the biblical guys. But yeah, love, great food there at the wedding. Great food. Taco truck was amazing. I had like 4 tacos and rice and beans. Really nice food. Unlimited beer at the bar, essentially. I had a ton of Michelob Ultras, which I never have. I know I went fancy. Michelob Ultra is a light beer. That's not my beer of choice, but gotta say, after having a bunch of those, I'm like, I could probably get used to these. These are pretty good. I ain't gonna lie. They're very refreshing, very, very good, very tasty. And I'm like, after the 6th one, I was like, oh my goodness, I feel good. Thankfully, I didn't have to drive that night home. I had a DD, thank Christ. So a lot, but we all had fun. We all just let loose and had a lot of fun. All of my friends. There was a ton of people I knew there, a ton of people I never knew that I met a couple people from, the bride and the groom's side. And I was like, hey, how you doing? I'm like, I know this guy, I know the groom, stuff like that, just kind of chit-chatting. And it was fun. It was fun. It was an outdoor wedding. Pretty good weather at the end. A little hot at the beginning, but that's okay. A lot of fun. Kind of dressed a little casual. I had some khaki pants and a polo. Nothing too fancy, but it was good. We all had a good time. It was fun. And nobody made a scene, I think, that I could see, which is good. I mean, like, it's always kind of a gamble, I feel like, with family events and family activities, that you want to invite everybody that you want, that you think that that you should, that you love, right, that are part of your family. But, if somebody doesn't, like, vibe with another person, how do you go about that? Do you risk inviting them and having them make a scene because they just can't control themselves, and maybe just because something sets them off, or do you just say, hey, yeah, maybe you don't come, or do you even tell them, like, what happens? I don't know. I truly don't know. I have no idea how I even would respond to that situation. Like, if I was to get married, right, I'm like, you can't invite your great aunt because your cousin who's 6 hates her. Well, what are you gonna do? It's like, well, I guess I'd have to invite one and not the other. Which one's going to give me a nice present? I'll invite them. Like, a 6-year-old probably going to give me like a little card or something like that, right? Says, happy wedding day. My great aunt, who probably loves me, is like going to give me like a little nice toaster, right? And I'm like, okay, I'll invite her. Sure, whatever. Make her happy. She's older. She needs this. Stuff like that. But that's always tough. And I'm sure that they had to go through some of that stuff, and like, who do we gotta cut off? Who do we have to let in? Who do we? Are they gonna be a problem? That's always, like, I would say, very, very tough to do. And thankfully, I have not in that position to do that, especially because my family is huge, gigantic family on both sides of my family. Multiple relatives, multiple aunts and uncles on both sides. They all have. A lot of them have kids, which, equals to cousins. They have kids as well. It's like I have so many people in my family. It's insane. I could count them all, but it would take me a while. It would take me a lot of time. But everything was good. Dancing was good. The DJ was okay. I put in like anything Pitbull. I think we got like maybe one Pitbull song. which it was a good one, don't get me wrong, and I will never forget that moment, but I could have used some more Pitbull, maybe a couple Flo Rida, right? Maybe a couple classics in there. They didn't even have Shout, which I was disappointed in. They had the Macarena, they had Slide to the Left, Slide to the Right, but no Shout. Shout is like one of the number one wedding songs that you gotta have at every wedding. If you don't know, look it up. Shout. It's I believe it's by the Condors. It's a great song. It's incredible. It's perfect for weddings. Perfect. Like, I think it's been like the past 2 weddings that I've been to, which I've loved, by the way, because I love. They did not have Shout. Both of them did not have Shout. And I was like, sorry, bud. Got to ding you on that. I even requested Shout, but didn't get it. I also heard some stuff like some of the songs got lost in the sauce, and I was like, shoot, that ain't good. But, I understand all things that probably happen. The difficulties of setting up, right? I thank God I have not had to set up for any wedding, because apparently I'm not a groomsman material. Not that I even care about that shit anyway, but I would absolutely dread helping, because I guess that's kind of like what happens when you are a groomsman. At least for the weddings that I've been to, like, you gotta help out. Like, I did not know that was the thing. I thought you got like special treatment, that you had people that already set up the stuff at the venue or something like that, or you hired a team that that did all that stuff. I guess not. I guess like the groomsmen and other people do it as well that are close with the people that are getting married. But it was a lot of fun. Like I said, it's perfect wedding season right now. It was like the end of April. It was beautiful, good weather for the most part. It was spectacular. Showed up late though, but it didn't start till later. So I was thanking Christ at that moment, because I'm like, I don't want to show up late, but circumstances, you kind of can't really avoid everything that's going to make you late. It's like, whatever. But got there a little bit late, but it didn't start yet. So I was like, okay, thank God. Totally relieved in that moment. But a lot of fun. Totally a lot of fun. I love. Like I said, keep on loving. Moving on though. Kind of want to talk to you about Moon Knight. And it was like maybe 5 weeks ago when it first premiered, and I was talking to you about it, because I actually really liked the first episode. Really did. I had not been so, tuned in, or not so keen, or likely to like most of the Marvel TV shows, I will say. I've seen WandaVision, I've seen The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I've seen Hawkeye, and now I've seen Moon Knight. The only ones I have not seen are Loki and What If, but I'm not counting What If. I don't care about that at all. So the premiere of Moon Knight, came out yesterday. The final episode of the series, I believe. I believe it's just a 6-part series, but there's been some rumors that it's not only one season. I don't know. That could be, misinformation. I'll have to ask the fact checkers on Twitter to verify that, if that's true or not. And we shall see in the future. But here I am going to give you my review of Moon Knight, the series so far, right? All 6 episodes that have been released. So my initial thought on the entire series is that Oscar Isaac is amazing in this role as Moon Knight. He's incredible. By the way, this is going to be a non-spoiler review. Non-spoiler. I don't want to spoil it. I don't feel like I need to. And if I do end up spoiling it, I will say spoiler alert, and I will try to timestamp it where it is, if I do. But I plan not to. So Oscar Isaac, like I said in the first episode, he kills it in this role. Kills it in every way, shape, and form. This is like an acting piece, this show. And his ability to act. And in so many different scenarios and situations, and different everything. He absolutely kills it in this show. And I've my exposure to Oscar Isaac is not that much. I've not seen Inside Llewyn Davis. I've not seen ex machina. I've only seen him in Star Wars and a couple of Netflix movies. And in Star Wars, he's he plays ball. He plays the Poe Dameron pretty well. Very charismatic, very outgoing, very cool pilot guy, typical like a Han Solo type character. He plays him well, and for what it's worth, he's good he's good as that role. Like he's good. Like he's fun to watch. His character's not like written out amazingly. Like you don't get a whole lot of time with him throughout that trilogy. But when you do see him, he's fun. He's likable and he's cool. He's a cool. He plays that swag. He has that swagger, that cockiness in that role, and he does it very well. And he's pretty much like one note in that entire trilogy, which he's good. And this, I mean, he's going from dramatic to comedic to being serious to flat out being sad and like crying and stuff like that, and like his ability to just like turn on a dime, right, in this role as Moon Knight is just incredible. Like throughout the entire series, all 6 episodes, this guy brings it every time. You could tell that this guy was like having so much fun performing as this character in every episode. Like you could just tell like this is what he's always wanted to do, to show what he can really do. And he goes for it every episode. Like, goes for it. Like, we'll do physical comedy. We'll just do, like, facial comedy, or not comedy, acting. And just really portray, like, every scenario to the best of his ability. And he out-acts, like, everybody in the show, too. Like, Ethan Hawke is in it. He's good. But he's, like, nowhere near Oscar Isaac good in this show. At all. Not even close. And as for the actual story, Moon Knight, the character Moon Knight, the origin story of Moon Knight, what this is really about, right? Like we have to introduce who Moon Knight is and what he's, what he's all about. And the show does have this little not a gimmick, but like this little way of showing how to really like get into the character of who is Moon Knight, which is Mark Spector, and his I guess this is not a spoiler. This is like a major part of the show. Like his like alternate personality in Stephen Grant, which is when you watch the show, it's Stephen is his British character and Mark is his American character. So it'll be like maybe like mid like scene, like he'll be Steven or he'll be Mark, in like the real world, and then he'll look at a mirror and he'll see like Steven talking at him in a different way, and it'll be Oscar Isaac in his British accent versus Oscar Isaac in his American accent. And it's really cool back and forth thing that they do in the show. Like really cool. Like really, really, really well done. And like it's just kind of like the show like really delves deep into like what he is and what he's all about in his past, and like how he's connected to this ancient Egypt the feud between these gods in the ancient Egyptian like world, and that whole like mythos and all that. And that he's like a servant for one of the gods named I think it's Ganchu or Kanchu, and how he becomes Moon Knight and why he becomes Moon Knight, right? That the whole thing is like he's connected to all that commotion with the gods. That's why he gets the Moon Knight abilities. That's why he's Moon Knight. And it goes through like this whole like action adventure, kind of like a little bit of a National Treasure type vibe, which I did like. There's a couple other characters that get picked up along the way, like Mark's wife in the show. She becomes a major part of it too. I forget her name. Let me look it up real quick. But she quickly becomes like a main role player in this TV show. That I think that actually adds a little bit more of a little bit of a groundedness to this character, because up until this one point you get like Stephen Grant, who's super nerdy, dweeby, like weak kind of guy, and then you get Mark Spector, who's like a badass, like a vigilante, not a vigilante, but like an assassin type character, who's very grounded and realistic and stuff like that. And then she kind of like, is like a little bit of a balancing between it. Her name is Layla, and her she's played by May Calamway. She plays Layla in the show, and she's very good too. She's a nice addition to Oscar Isaac's Mark and Steven. And I just feel like the show really exceeds with the characters and all that. But I think that the story itself, for me, at a lot of points was like groundbreaking and new and stuff like that. And like, what's happening here? Like, how's this all tie in? Or if it even does tie in. And the story does complete. Like, the main goal happens, and then like it's all completed and stuff like that. There's some stuff that's left to interpretation of what might happen in the future. But as far as like the story between Mark and Steven, that's all pretty much resolved in this show. My like main gripe is like, I feel like a lot of these shows, and this one in particular, they'll make like a choice in what is happening with the character and make it so, not really, that's not really gonna happen. We'll fix it in the end. Like, it's like they wanna do something dramatic and new, but it's like, gotcha, pull the rug out from under you. We're just kidding. This is what's really happening and stuff like that. I feel like that kind of stuff happens quite a bit in Marvel stuff. Like, I've heard that Loki is kind of like that. Like, oh, you thought you knew what happened? Nah, this is what really happened. And I'm just like, okay, that's fine. But I just kind of feel like, what was the point of all that then? Like why did you just like build all that up and then drop this on me and be like, oh, look, this is really reality? Like, I understood it. I mean, the ending is a little confusing because there's a new character introduced. Like, I don't want to spoil it because I feel like it might give it all away. So I won't say anything, but it's just like, okay, where's that going to go? Like, how is that going to, intertwine with what we've been seeing? I have no idea. I mean, I would want to know, but like, what happened to these guys? Like, how is this going to work out with these guys? Are these guys even going to be a thing anymore? Like, because there's like things that happen that's like, is stuff just like no more? Like, what's going to happen? I've also never read a single Moon Knight comic, so if I sound like very stupid at the moment, I apologize. I have no idea what Moon Knight was up until this TV show. I guess another couple gripes I had was, he's not Moon Knight a whole lot in the show. Like, he's probably Moon Knight like maybe once or twice in every episode, but it's like not that much. There's not a whole lot of him kicking butt, which when he does is badass. Let me get that straight. When he's Moon Knight, right, he's phenomenal. It looks great, and the action looks great too. When it's Mark Spector fighting, I'll be honest with you, it very much feels like TV violence. It feels very cheap, some aspects, when it's not Moon Knight fighting. Not to say that Oscar Isaac should not fight in person because he's a trash actor. No. I'm just saying, like, for some reason, like, it felt like the choreography, the sets, the way it was shot, just kind of felt like a step down from what it was when he was Moon Knight. I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but that's how I felt when I watched it. Yeah, and again, the ending is kind of open, so it's like, is there going to be another season? There might be. I feel like that there should be, because it's just kind of open, and it's like, well, what's going to happen next? Like, how's this going to work? Like, and I was just like, I feel like it was also a bit rushed in certain elements of that, especially the final episode. The final episode is like maybe like 35 minutes, maybe 37 minutes, right? It's pretty short. Like, the credits are like 8 minutes in these damn shows. It's ridiculous. So if you see like an episode that's like 59 minutes, just think in your head it's going to be like 51, 52, because the credits are so long. But a decent show. It definitely had me coming back every week. I had to catch up a couple times because I fell behind, but it definitely kept me coming back. I was interested. I was like, where's this going to go? I like Oscar Isaac. I'm intrigued of where this is heading. But I think like most Marvel shows, like most of them that have been coming out, have kind of like started high and ended kind of meh for me. They like, there's definitely a big finale and a big payoff, right? I think that my favorite episode's got to be episode 5. in the show just because, oh man, it hits you right here in the heart. Like, it's really good, and a really, really, really good performance by Oscar Isaac in episode 5. But there's just like a little bit of a downward slope after like the premiere episodes with these shows for me. I don't know what it is. I don't know if like it's like they kind of have this feel of like they're just big long movies for some reason, and they're just doing them as shows because they don't want to make them into feature films anymore. Like these particular shows. But I don't know. I could be wrong. I mean, I'm gonna see Doctor Strange this week, or next week, so I'll be the judge. Like, it's gonna be the first Marvel movie in theaters since No Way Home, so like I'm gonna see like how these kind of compare to the TV shows being so fresh in my mind. Like, what's gonna be different, what's gonna be not, because Doctor Strange is like maybe like 2 hours and 6 minutes. And Moon Knight was I give it like maybe a 5-hour total runtime. It's not like super long, but it's like, I don't know. I just get this feeling that the shows start off really high and then just kind of like fizzle away. Not completely away, but like they're nowhere as strong at their beginning as they are at their end. And that's been a thing for me with even, Hawkeye, WandaVision, Falcon Winter Soldier. Like, I haven't seen Loki. I've heard that one was really good, but that's just kind of how I feel about that, and particularly about Moon Knight. But I don't know. What do I know anyway? I don't know much, right? I just I see what I see and I say what I say. And Moon Knight to me was just kind of meh. I'll be honest, it was just kind of meh. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Moon Knight lovers, maybe Moon Knight fans will be like, hey, that was good. That was all what I wanted. Then cool, bro. Cool. That's all I could ever want is for you to like it, right? I don't want you to go away and say like, I want you to hate this, right? I want you to not like it. No, it's like, you like what you like, right? I like what I like. I did not love Moon Knight. So, therefore, final wording on Moon Knight, I'm going to give it a 7.1 out of 10. Better than, Hawkeye, for sure. That one was a slap in my face. But certainly not better than WandaVision, even though WandaVision had a really, in my opinion, bad ending. I think that this one left too much open for me to be like, oh yeah, that was like satisfying. Like, I just kind of wanted more now, but I'm like, how's this gonna go? Like, how does this all fit in? Because WandaVision, you can tell how that fit into the MCU. You can very much tell how that would fit into the MCU. Falcon Winter Soldier, you could also tell. Even Hawkeye, I think you could tell how that would fit into the MCU. This, I don't see how this fits in the MCU at all. Nothing. So we'll see how that happens. Maybe they spin off and do separate universes between like the spiritual stuff. Like maybe Moon Knight becomes like a Avenger with like, I don't know, somebody else like who's like on par with Moon Knight. Blade, maybe the Black Knight when he shows up, maybe the Eternals, I don't know. Black Panther, I don't know. Like I don't know how Moon Knight fits in any of this stuff. Truly don't. Like I saw it, I'm like, yeah, Moon Knight, cool. How's this gonna fit? Like I truly have no idea how this will fit, but that's not my job. I'm not being paid to weave in Moon Knight to Captain America or to the Winter Soldier, right? Like I'm not being paid to do that. So I'll give it to the creators and the writers to figure that out. But I said it. I'll give it. I've said it many times, a couple times actually. Moon Knight gets a 7.1 out of 10. Kind of shifting it a little bit to some celebrity drama. Just a little bit of celebrity drama. Apparently, Pete Davidson versus Kanye West is continuing, people. So much so that what I've heard is that Pete Davidson now has tattoos, or is going to get tattoos, of Kim Kardashian's kids' names on himself. Now, I know. Pete Davidson, if you've seen, has a lot of tattoos. A lot of them. Some, you would say, to someone who doesn't really care about tattoos, in myself, and I truly don't give a damn about any tattoo. I don't see the point in having any tattoos. Maybe because I'm stupid, or I don't know. Maybe I'm just anti-tattoo. I just don't see any point in getting a tattoo. I wouldn't want that on my arm or my leg or whatever. I just wouldn't want that, right? But to get Kim's kids tattooed on him, his name, their names, right? North, South, East, West. That would be so bizarre to me, because you just know that Pete and Kim are not going to be forever in love. There's just no way. They're celebrities. That's not how it works. Like, if they actually stay together forever, right, till North, South, East, and West are all, like, old enough to, like, give out an interview or say something or actually speak their minds about what they think about their damn parents, right? That's going to be so weird to hear what they have to, like. I feel so ashamed and so bad that North and all her siblings, all of them, right? All siblings have to deal with what has been, what their mother, their father, and Pete Davidson are doing to their lives and their children's lives, their future, what people will say about them. It's just unfair. Like, first of all, why would anybody get a tattoo of their child's name on them? Doesn't that just seem kind of weird to you? Like, what's the point of that? Just say you love them. You don't have to get writing on your arm. Don't get like a big old tattoo that says Maria on my forearm. What is, like, that's just so weird. What if you end up like having like a bad relationship with your daughter or something like that, and you just got to look at that every day, reminding yourself, like, I got this because I was going to be the best father I possibly could. Now I'm, some shit happened. It's like, well, like, that's just leaving it, like, you have to literally, like, have, like, a perfect life. Be the perfect parent. And be like, yeah, I love this tattoo. And I understand, like, parents have unconditional love. Unconditional love, right? But still, there's always, like, it's the unknown. You just got to be prepared for the unknown with that. And I'm no parent, by the way. I'm no parent. I have no kids, no offspring. So I'm coming at this at a very stupid point of view. Very dumb. Don't listen to me. I just feel like I would not want that. Nor would I want my kids' friends to see that their mom or their dad has a tattoo of my name on them. Like, I wouldn't want that. I'd feel like that would be weird, right? And you can just say, like, oh, because I love you this much. It's like, okay, cool. If you feel like you need to get me tatted on your arm or your chest or whatever you want, like okay, if that's what makes you feel like the significance is high enough to get you tatted on your body, fine, do that. I just don't really see the point in that. But I'm coming from a point of view where it's like I don't like tattoos. I don't have kids, so it's like very ignorant, very, very ignorant. But back to Kim and Pete Davidson. Like, I know Kanye's had, like, posts pulled off from Instagram. His account's been suspended for posting some really questionable stuff, right? I mean, at what point do we just say, like, this is, like, just so weird and just so, like, bizarre and just, like, kind of awkward, right? Like, at the end of the day, right, regardless if you're a celebrity or not, right, you can be a regular person. a celebrity, you're still a person, right? You're not going to like how you are being put out and viewed upon by people in the world. You're just not. No matter how much money you make, right? Like you've seen like so many people, right? Celebrities, athletes who, one person would say something about them, one tweet, one post, and they would chirp right back at you like they weren't even a celebrity, like they weren't even like a millionaire or had so many endorsements or had so many sponsorships. Like they just became down to earth on the same level as you and chirped you back, right? Like that's happened so many times, so many damn times. I just kind of feel like, what if what if that happened to you, right? Like you could feel that way. Like it just seems like a bad relationship between the baby daddy and the new boyfriend that just has continued. That just is so public and so popular and so big in this world that it kind of can't be avoided now. And maybe at this point, maybe it's for content, right? I mean, that new show, The Kardashians, is on Hulu now. So what if? What if it's all being done for that show? Because I got to tell you this. I would love to see clips of that show when it's, about this type of situation, right? This exact same scenario. Like, I would love to see what's happening. I would love to see what Kim is saying on that show, right? About this same stuff. Like, also, is Pete Davidson going to be in that show too? Like Kanye kind of was. I mean, they couldn't really afford Kanye, so they couldn't have him in too many episodes. But I don't know. Like, you just don't know. But as messed up and fucked up as it seems, right? It all seems very weird in terms of what's being said to Pete and Kanye, and how Kim is involved and the kids are involved. It's all very strange and bizarre and awkward. But you gotta admit, man, that's going to make some very good TV. And the more dramatic, the more weird, the more unsettling, makes for much better TV. Much better TV. Because, man, I could only, I don't watch the Kardashians. So, when their last season of Keeping Up ended, did they get, involved, really dug deep into that divorce between Kim and Kanye? Or was it kind of on the surface, it happened and they didn't show any footage of it? Because if they didn't show any footage, that's just an absolute missed opportunity for E. I mean, come on. I get it that it's private, business, but you've been showing so much of your life, and I know you select it, right? You say you can show this, you can't show that. I know that they do that. But at this point, they've been doing this for so many years. They shouldn't have anything off limits. They should not have anything restricted at this point. Why would you do that? Why not just put everything out and get everybody watching? Literally everybody watching. I mean, you really, they got to show everything on this. And I mean everything, because that would make great TV. Your ratings would go up, up, up. People would be watching. I mean, everybody would just tune in. So it's at this point, I feel like it's for the show's content. And if it is, smart of them. Very, very smart. Because you're getting the beef on social media. You want to see how it translates to real life in the real time when they tape these episodes, right? I mean, I would love to see that. Ryan Seacrest, I know you produce a show, I believe. You probably still do. If not, you produce the Keeping Up one. Get in there. Put that out. Tell Kim that this is what's going to sell. That will get the clicks. That will get the taps, right? Just be like, Kim, I'm sorry that you're feeling this way. And I know that you want to, you want to let your kids know that that daddy loves you. So do I. Forget what you're hearing, if you can even comprehend what's happening about Pete and Skeet, and then versus Ye, the drawings that's been suspended, the accounts that's been suspended. But we got to put this in the show. We just have to. It will do numbers. I'm sure Kim will know if you give her the right amount of money. She'll understand. Again, that's coming from somebody who's also not married or has kids or does nothing involved with family, stuff like that. So, take that for what it is. I'm very dumb in that type of scenario. Don't take my advice. That's just what I would think. I of course I would think that would do numbers. How would it not? Right? All right, last thing. And it's kind of going back to movies a little bit. I saw that I probably should have put it after Moon Knight or after Moon Knight, but I didn't. So we're kind of swinging back to movies and stuff like that in the realm of Fast and the Furious, because this actually blew my mind. Because I always thought that this was going to happen. I truly did, because what it is that the director of Fast 10, Justin Lin, has left the project citing that it is getting too difficult to work with Vin Diesel, citing that he shows up late to set, doesn't remember his lines, and is always out of shape. Now, if you have seen Fast 9, now you know that what I've said, that movie is so bad, truly so bad, it is gut-bustingly hilarious, and I stand by that. I will continue to stand by that until anybody proves me wrong, which I don't think that they can, because they haven't seen it yet. But I can totally see what Justin Lin is saying right here. If you watch Fast and the Furious 9, you will see that at least in the department of acting range and acting capability, within the past, even before I would say even in Fate of the Furious, Vin Diesel's acting and his line delivery have gotten even more and more cringy. Especially F9. Holy crap, that's horrible. F9 is the pinnacle of it's so bad that it would be in the pile with Plan 9 from Outer Space bad. But since it is a big budget movie and it's taking itself seriously, and it's so many people are involved in it, like Tyrese and Ludacris and all that, Michelle Rodriguez, it's I don't think I can put it on that level of bad, because it's got so many other people in it that actually try to act. But when you see Vin Diesel act in that movie, you can tell he just didn't even give a shit anymore. He did not give a shit. So when he says he doesn't know his lines, I totally buy it. Buy it, send it, ship it. I believe Justin Lin. I truly do. Because I think we're at the point where Vin Diesel, because he's not just an actor, right? He also is in charge of these movies. I've heard he picks the directors, and he knows how long he wants them to go and stuff like that. And he's so in the driver's seat about where they're gonna go, who's gonna direct them, and all that. And I just kind of see the power in that whole thing just becoming so much in Vin Diesel, and not on anybody who's a creative on that show or on the movie, the writers or whatever, but all just kind of being all about him and all that. Which, it's Fast and the Furious is a story of essentially Dom Toretto, in his family, I guess. But it's mainly about him. He's the main guy. People go see Dom Toretto. They don't go to see Michelle Rodriguez. Maybe they do. They don't go to see Ludacris, even though Ludacris is Luda and he's cool as fuck. Or Tyrese Gibson as Tej, who's also cool as fuck. They just go to see Dom Toretto. That's all they care for. And I gotta say, them losing The Rock and him quitting on that franchise, well, it's good for him and good for his soul. And you see, he seems content with that decision. I miss that Rock-Dom rivalry in those movies. I truly, truly do. Cena in there was okay, but it wasn't as fulfilling as The Rock and Diesel. There's just something about The Rock versus Vin Diesel that was so fun and so funny in those movies that it was like a match made in heaven. It was perfect. I loved it. But I buy the line thing. I buy the line that he does not remember his lines, because some of the lines in Fast 9 are just delivered so terribly that I can't believe that it's an actually feature film. Late to Set, I totally buy that too. I totally buy that. He makes so much money for these movies. He could be classified as a movie star, right? But the thing is that these movies are all he does, and they're all, I would say the best one is 7, right? 5, 6, and 7 are like A-tier action movies. 9 is about a B minus. Not 9. 8 is about a B minus, and 9 is like an F. But like, I don't think that he should even walk like he's a gigantic movie star, because he makes one franchise of movies like, and they're not even like that amazing, right? Like, they are good, but they're not like, he's not like a good actor like Tom Cruise, who does all these big movies, but he's also a really good actor, right? Vin Diesel's not a good actor. He just plays Dom Toretto very good. I think he also plays like Riddick. I've never seen Riddick, but I think he's okay in that. But it's like, what else do you do, bro? You're just Dom Toretto your entire life. Like, you have become Dom Toretto. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, you walk off set with your, like, mechanic jumpsuit and just, go to your house still wearing it. And then, like, go look at your cars in your Dominic Toretto jumpsuit because you want to be a mechanic at your own house. I don't think that's too out of the ordinary. And ultimately, like, when Justin Lin also cited that he shows up out of shape, my God, like, Dominic Toretto, like, has this, like, he has, like, this, covered up buffness, like, covered up. Like, he's always in a white t-shirt and a tank, and his arms look pretty puffed up, and his abdomen looks like it's sticking out a bit, but at some point, you kind of, like, you can tell, like, it's no longer just muscle anymore. That it's just, like, fat and bloatedness. That's why he's kind of sticking out of his shirt now, because he's now just kind of becoming pudgy. So, like, when he was fighting The Rock back in, like, Fast 5 and all that, he was still pretty, like, in good shape back then. But Fast 8, Fast 9, nah. It's, like, less and less becoming, like, I'm strong now to just I'm getting big. And I'm like, I'm thick. Like, I'm no longer just, like, in shape. I'm pretty thick. You can tell throughout his whole body, too. It's like, bro, Dom's supposed to be strong, buff, or that's what you kind of wanted him to be. But now he's just big. Right? He's just big and pudgy and thick. And I just kind of feel like that's going to prevent you from looking muscular and cool in your shots, bro. Like, you got to, like, half your movies are just you racing and then you flexing or doing something like, I don't know, strong, I guess, like fighting or something. Like, if you look like you're, like, overweight, it's just not gonna work out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I totally see why Justin Lin is, like, left the project, because at this point, man, you've been doing 10 of these movies. You've only been in 8, right? You've been in 8 out of 10. And that's all you basically do. So if you're gonna, like, fucking, like, not bitch out, but if you're, like, gonna, like, half-ass it now, your only thing that's making you this much money, right? The family, all these people involved. I mean, I'll give you this. You gave Paul Walker a great send-off. Like, that Fast 7's ending is so beautiful. It's a great ending. I'll admit it. To not even giving a shit, to not caring, to not giving it your all. I mean, you're an actor, and you don't even, like, really act. You're just being, seems like kind of like you're being yourself. Or maybe you've just become Dominic Toretto. I don't know. That's just what I get from it. That's my vibe. So, is Fast 10 even going to come out? How are they going to do this? Who would want to work with Vin Diesel if Justin Lin, who's done a lot of these movies, doesn't even want to do it? Like, I don't know. I feel like at this point, it's all up in the air. Whoever wants to handle Vin and deal with Vin's stuff could take the helm and give it a shot. But I just don't see anybody doing it, dude. I really don't. I feel like Vin has now become like so like weird and so like stuck up now, because I've seen him in interviews and he straight up acts weird sometimes in interviews with people. Like he's so above you, or he talks like all about himself. It's like I don't know. I just feel like at this point, if you're gonna want to direct Vin Diesel in a Fast movie, it's gonna take a lot of like understanding and a lot of scheduling, because like he's gonna show up overweight, late, can't remember his lines. It's like, oh goodness. And like his lines aren't even like that, like, detailed, I would assume. Like Fast 9, again, you gotta watch it because it's super, super funny. It's not like a well-written movie. And like that was the last one that they made. So I don't know. I just feel like it's who cares at this point, right? After 9, I was like, oh my God, I don't want to watch the 10th one, but I kind of feel like I have to, just to end the ride. Because I think this is going to be the last one. I think it is. But, we'll see. See, was that it? I think that might have been it, yeah. Oh, and the Kenobi trailer came out yesterday, the second one. It was cool. I'm excited. They showed some Darth Vader getting suited up. I was like, all right, this is cool. This is cool. May 27th can't come fast enough. I'll be ready to watch it. I will. Yeah, so that's going to be it. Thank you, everybody, for listening, and thank you for watching. Remember, you can find the podcast on YouTube, Apple Podcast, and Spotify at Intelligent Moron with Alex Silva. Remember, all episodes drop on Thursday mornings. Remember to like, rate, subscribe, review, do all that fun stuff. If you want to send me or shoot me a DM about a topic I should talk about, my social media handles are all in the description. Be sure to check that out. Yes. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And I will see you guys back next week.